Well, hi once again, everybody. Welcome in again to, it's going to be a fabulous edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, hoping you're having a good week so far, getting out to play some golf. The weather here in Las Vegas has finally realized it's summertime, so we've been in the upper 90s. We're going to start experiencing 110, 111, and summer's here, and that's the way it goes here. But if you could get out and play early, like most people like to do here, of course, that's very beneficial. I like the heat, so I don't mind getting out when it's hot because you're in a car, you got a hat on, you're staying hydrated, you're not looking hopefully for a lot of balls. I'm supposed to play Sunday at Canyon Gate Country Club. It's only going to be 111, but at least we're teeing off at 8:30, so I'm really, really looking forward to it. Anyway, a lot going on in golf. Not as much as the continuing saga, and that's really what it is between the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour, trying to come together with a some kind of contract, some kind of an agreement, who's in, who's out, what's going to happen, but it's all going to be very interesting. It's supposed to all shake out towards the end of the year. We don't know the status of Jay Monahan. He's out right now on a medical condition, whatever the hell that means. But we've got two other guys running on the PGA Tour right now, but he's supposedly going to be back. And we've got the LIV people in charge right now. So everything is kind of up in the air. And hopefully it will get settled by the end of the year so everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows what they're doing. Players are going to be somewhat more happy than they have been, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see the way it works out. Anyway, we've got a great show for you today. We got a first-time guest that I've been trying to get on since he's got here in Las Vegas, and we finally got him. So he's in studio with us, and I want to introduce him to you right now. He is the brand new, relatively new, head men's golf coach for UNLV, Jean-Paul Hebert.
Hello.
I get that right,
yes,
huh?
That's pretty good, pretty good. Almost sound like a French guy.
Yeah, I know. I was going to have a bottle of champagne or wine here for you, but I forgot that. I was going over your bio, which I found, and it was, to be honest, quite lengthy. I started reading through it, and I found my shirt was going out of style. It was taking so much time. So I thought I would just let you tell everybody a little bit about your background when you were a kid, how you got into golf. You came from Texas, an assistant coach and all that stuff. So bring us up to speed.
Well, like you said, my name right, Jean-Paul Hebert, like a bear. Very common Southern Louisiana last name.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the game of golf. And what I mean by growing up in the game of golf, my father and my uncle were tour players. Between the two of them, they won 12 times on the PGA Tour. Each won a PGA championship. Each played Ryder Cups. My father, Jay Hebert,
won the PGA championship in '60.
That's right. 1960 was a big summer out there. Arnold Palmer had just won a couple times.
Yeah.
He was going for the trifecta. Jack Nicklaus was kind of the new thing on
tour
out there, and so. But anyway, he was most honored by being selected to be the American Ryder Cup captain in 1971. Right. So, but I grew up, with these two guys, and then many of their contemporaries, obviously, that were around all the time. So, grew up and born and raised in Houston, Texas, mostly playing golf out at Champions Golf Club, where Jackie Burke is still there every day. He's
got to be what, 100?
He's 100.
Yeah,
he's 100. But he's there every day, 3 or 4 hours. My father was his best man twice.
Oh, really?
He had two families, two lives, really. Honestly, I mean, if you live to be 100, you're going to have. So you're going to have a lot going on. So I grew up in the game, obviously, and went on to play collegiate golf at the University of Texas, which is in Austin. just three hours down the road from Houston. And, fast forward many years, I got into coaching. I was the assistant coach there at Texas for 8 years. Prior to that, I was a volunteer coach for 4 years. And so I've been around a lot of really good players, coached a lot of good players. And now I'm here in Las Vegas. I'm very happy to be here. This is a
glad to have
very
you.
historic, proud program that I know much about. I know a lot of the guys that came through here over the years.
You are, and I'm sure you realize this, you're only the third coach that has headed the UNLV men's golf team.
Right.
And of course, you're replacing, only still involved to some degree, but how well do you know Dwayne? Do you know Coach Knight? Because he's iconic here, man.
Yeah, I know. I've known Coach Knight ever since I was a teenager, when he was coaching here. I think he started here, and I'm thinking maybe 87.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in there, right in there.
Came from New Mexico.
And prior to him, Coach, I'm forgetting
I can't
his name
think
right
either.
now.
I know.
I'll think of his name here in a minute.
It's going back a ways.
Coach Draculich.
Draculich, right.
He was here. He actually started the program in the 60s.
Right.
And was the men's golf coach all the way until the late 80s. So,
Right.
So yeah, I'm the third head coach in the history of the program. And it's one of these national collegiate golf programs that's kind of been around successful for decades. Not only because of a national championship,
Long time.
many top tens, many good teams, a lot of All-Americans, and
Yeah.
now a lot of guys on tour.
On tour.
And so that's exciting. That's a big deal.
That's a very big deal. By the way, I don't want to be remiss and leave out Lionel, who I believe won the first match play in '57. I remember when I was just a kid watching these two guys play. I loved them. They just had something about them that was really cool.
The two guys,
Yeah,
they were Cajun guys, grown up in southern Louisiana.
Right.
Lionel was a musician before he was ever a golfer. They were both very engaging people. Had a lot of friends. They were well respected, and they were obviously very competitive. But Lionel, as you said, with younger brother, was first to win the PGA Championship. 1957, it was the last year it was match play. The final year it was match play.
Year, right.
1957,
Right.
where they just took 128 guys straight into single elimination match play. And the semis and the finals were 36-hole matches at the time. So it's just a lot of golf. But for him to bring that trophy home to his mom's house in Lafayette, Louisiana, where she spoke very little English, knew very little about golf. And then that trophy came back to her home 3 years later in 1960. It's hard to even believe.
Oh, it's incredible. Those were two very enjoyable gentlemen to watch, and they were, I think, sometimes considered their ability was a little bit underrated in my estimation, but they were absolutely fantastic. Let me kick it off and ask you this, Coach. I asked this to a lot of top instructors and coaches that I have on the show, and that is, I asked them, can you be a top instructor without playing competitive golf? And surprisingly, most of the answers I get are yes. Okay, and then they go into their explanation. Well, I want to turn it around and ask you, can you be a very good high school or collegiate golf coach without having had prior competitive experience? And you've had that.
I have. I'm happy that I've had that. I had enough success as a player to where I understand what winning is like.
Yeah.
And I've struggled enough to understand all the ups and downs that a player goes through. But I think in any sport, especially team sports, you see very, very great coaches that maybe, like a Lou Holtz comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
But But I really feel like it helps, and especially in the game of golf, where it's an individual game and it's such a mental game.
Yeah.
To be able to relate and really understand what a player is thinking about, what it feels like to sleep on a lead, what it feels like to maybe have that tough day, where you're going to have a bad day from time to time.
Sure, everybody does.
What it's going to feel like to have a one-shot lead with 2 to play.
Yeah.
So, sure, I think you can, and there's different types of coaching styles. Some coaches are more of a general manager of a team, and more of a facilitator. Whereas some coaches are truly a player's coach, where they're really truly a golf player. They're a competitor themselves, and they're more, I would say, more really tied into everything that another player's going through. And I'm fortunate that I am.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a benefit. Biggest 1 or 2 attributes you think are needed to be a good coach, number 1, and number 2, do all good or great collegiate coaches have the same commonality in something?
I think so. I think these coaches, they're very different. They have different backgrounds, different experiences. Sometimes they got into coaching in many different ways. Some guys, maybe that's what they wanted to do when they came out of college. I want to be a coach. Me, on the other hand, I was a player, and then I ended up kind of falling into coaching. And but I think to be a great golf coach, it really in my mind really helps to really understand the game, understand the game of golf, and really have a great understanding of your players. If you're invested in your players, you know your players, you know what they're going to need, you know what you're going to know how to assist them, because ultimately that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're helping them be their best.
You've got to be a bit of a psychologist, don't you? Because you're working with a lot of different personalities.
That's right. That's part of the
fun.
Some
players need more stroking than others. Some players may need a little bit more discipline than others. They may maybe a little more motivation. How do you deal with
They
all that?
all need something different. And to me, that's part of the fun. That we're all different people. We're all playing this game a different way. And you're right. Some kids just, maybe they need some actual technical support with their game. Maybe they've got a great attitude, but they just need to get better. They just need to understand how to play different parts of the game. Or some kids may have a lot of talent, and they just need to kind of calm down and be a little more patient.
Yeah.
And maybe be a little nicer to yourself, and then understand that, hey, it's okay. You're getting a little bit better. Everybody's timing is different.
Right. Yeah, you may be a late bloomer or
right.
whatever. That brings me to my next question, though, and you kind of hit upon it. What do you look for as a coach in a potential recruit? And secondly, if you talk to that young man and they're kind of in between programs, what do you say to them to get them on your side of the fence?
Recruiting is really the lifeblood of college golf program.
Without a doubt.
And I mean, we got to bring in winners, you bring in kids that you believe have a high ceiling, that you want talented players, obviously, but you want kids that have a good attitude, kids that maybe have had success in different parts of the country, different types of grasses, kids that have a nice trajectory in their development. I love seeing a great short game, kid that doesn't have to be a long hitter. How do they play the ball? My dad, I'll never forget one of the things he said. Anybody can hit the ball. Question is, how well is somebody going to play the ball? And that's what we're doing. We're playing a ball. So it doesn't really matter what it does, maybe coming off the face, but where does it end up?
Right.
Does the ball come to rest in all these? Is it okay?
Right.
And playing a 54-hole stroke play tournament, all those little strokes add up, and try to keep it as simple as possible. But coaching young guys, we're business of 18 to 22-year-old golfers, playing a game like golf, you can imagine. my gosh, what all the things that could go into that. So, but that's part of what makes this fun.
Yeah, and I know Dwayne was very not specific, but he kind of specialized in the short game and stuff like that. So, but speaking of that, these kids, and I call them kids, a young man coming into college. Obviously, most of them, I would believe, have their own swing coaches. So when you offer some kind of help, do you have to be careful not to step on their toes, or if somebody just comes to you and says, "Coach, I'm just having a little problem getting up and down. Can you can you look at my chipping? What the hell's going wrong?"
That's right. As a college golf coach, I am more of a mentor and advisor to them in these years that they're here. And I help them kind of on an as-needed basis.
Right.
So they tend to, yes, they have their own instructors.
Right.
They have their own relationships, their own connections in the game. And I'm just another layer in their development. So I become a part of that relationship that they already have. I don't want them to, I don't want to get in the way of their relationships. They have their certain equipment that they're used to playing.
Right.
For example, kid uses a certain brand of equipment all his life. Well, I don't care. I don't care what they use. I want them to continue to use what they're going to play their best with.
Right. Of course.
Sometimes a change is needed. Sometimes you maybe need to make a change with a player, but I want them to be comfortable and play their best. And I'm just here to advise them in these college years.
Yeah, as they do, they want to play their best. Let me ask you this before we take our first commercial break. I know you're not out there swinging the club for them, but do you go over course management with them before they hit the golf course?
Course
or
management,
in a practice round?
Course management is huge. Maybe we have some prior experience at a golf course where we go and play a tournament. Maybe we don't, but we get one practice round as a team, and we'll come away. That night typically have a team meeting and come away with 2 or 3 maybe critical things that are really important to maybe scoring on that golf course.
Yeah.
What is it really? What is scoring on this course really come down to? And so we'll talk about that. But then when they go play, when they put the tee in the ground, they're playing their own game.
It's them.
And I want them to take ownership of their game, accept their game, make smart decisions for themselves. And if they do that, they're making smart decisions for the team.
Right.
And the team result takes care of itself.
Right. Yeah.
Individual game.
Totally.
Who knows what's going on inside your head versus what's going on inside somebody else's head?
Totally. I never believed in the mental game that much until a few years ago, and I finally realized. I always thought swing mechanics were more important. They're both important, but the mental game is certainly a big part of it. And I've had all the top mental people on the show, and they talk about individual areas and confidence, this and that. And some even say, "Dennis, you know what? Golf is 100% mental because that affects your swing and the whole thing." Do you agree with that?
Right, absolutely. Do you remember what Yogi Berra said? 90% of the game is mental, and the other half is physical.
Yeah.
But it's your mind. And not even just mental as in figuring out a golf course, but just all the little things that go into a person's mind and preparation and dealing with ups and downs, the good breaks, the bad breaks.
Yeah, it all comes.
All that stuff is part of what we consider the mental part of the game.
Yeah.
So yes, hitting the shots, you want to feel good about your golf swing, but everybody's swing is different.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jim Furyk was worried about his golf swing, I don't think we'd have ever heard of the guy.
You're right.
If you look at the top 10 players in the game right now, I mean, tell me John Rahm, who's teaching somebody to swing like John Rahm? Nobody, because you can't. Only he can play from there.
Just get it here, yeah.
So, And you can go just down the list of the different golf swings that are out there. And so there's different ways to do it.
True.
And those guys that are the best, that do it their way, fortunately, they're okay with playing golf their way.
Their way.
I mean, if Bubba Watson, again, was worried about what his golf swing looked like,
So like they say, there's no pictures on the scorecard. It's just how many strokes you take.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care how you get there.
Everybody's built differently.
Yeah.
Shorter guys stop. Yeah. Some guys' body's not going to move the same way.
No,
and so
no
it's
way.
like, how are they going to be able to deliver the club?
Correct.
And then believe in what they're doing.
Right. Correct. Absolutely correct. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to step away, take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have a lot more of their special guests, Jean-Paul Hebert, the newly named head coach of the men's UNLV golf team. Stay with us. We're back right after this. Promise. The revolutionary Power to Golf Club requires no swing to hit golf shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing. It's empowering golfers with physical issues to continue enjoying time golfing with friends and family. With just the push of a button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Visit online, powergolfclub.com. Well, we are back, everybody, for more of the golf show with our very special guest, Jean-Paul Hebert, who's hanging with us on the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, having a good conversation about something very important about golf, and specifically about college golf. And college golf here in Las Vegas, my gosh, it's been an institution, for crying out loud, right up there with basketball. And, Las Vegas has become a real sports town right now, but we can't lose, sight of the fact that both women's golf at UNLV and men's golf at UNLV are very, very important. Being named just the third men's head golf coach for UNLV, as we talked about, that must have been a great, great feeling for you. Or, to be honest, were you somewhat surprised? How did the process start?
I was kind of surprised because Coach Knight had been here for 35 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know anything prior to him. I didn't even know how,
Yeah.
So yeah, but to know that I'm just the third coach in that many years, maybe nearly 60 years that we're talking about here, I think it's humbling, and it's also, but it's a mark of a really good program. When you think about the really great programs in sports, there's not a lot of turnover with their coaches.
Right. Right. True. Good point.
A lot of coaches that come in and coach for a long time because they have a lot of support from the school or from the team or from the community, and so I'm happy to be part of something like that. But college golf in general, I mean, it's big here in Vegas,
very big.
But around the country, college athletics and college golf in particular has really grown in its popularity.
Yeah.
And so there are many, many programs,
Happy to
many
say
out
that.
there
Happy to say that.
that care about golf and they want to win in golf.
Absolutely.
30 years ago, you might have had 15, 20, maybe 25 programs that were really serious and really funded to win.
Yeah.
But now, man, there might be 150 teams out there that are funded.
Speaking of
to
funding,
win.
Coach, the UNLV men's golf team has always been well funded. You've had huge supporters throughout the years.
Yes, I know, and we still do. We still do. And Coach Knight really understood the value of fundraising.
Yeah.
Obviously, the value.
Yeah.
And that was a big priority of his. What's the if you had to say what's number one, what do you have to have? I mean, you have to have money. You
Sure
have to
you
be
do.
able to pay for the things that you want to be able to do.
Sure you do.
So, and fundraising is always something that we're doing. But I think fundraising kind of goes hand in hand with building relationships in the community and just getting to know people and
Absolutely.
and helping people understand, like, hey, this is what we are. Here's what we're trying to do.
Right.
This is fun. This is exciting. These are college kids trying to play, competitive golf at this level.
Do most of them come to you when you talk to them, get to know them a little bit? They're so excited to play collegiate golf. They've earned it. They're good players. Do most of them say, yeah, Coach, I want to play on tour. I want to be a tour player when I'm out of here?
Sure.
They all say that?
9 out of 10, if you ask them, would raise their hand and say, yes, I want to play on the PGA Tour. And then 9 out of 10 would also say, I'm going to play on the PGA Tour. It's just inside of them.
That's good for them.
And so that's something that's also changed. Back when I was playing, there might have been three or four of us that thought, yeah, I might be good enough to play professional golf.
It's hard,
Yeah.
to say the least.
A lot of people out there competing for a small number of spots.
Yeah. There's a lot of good players that you around here, everywhere that you play with. Really good. They'll go out on a Saturday afternoon with you, shoot 65 or whatever that, get them in Q school, or the idea of being in a professional tournament, all changes.
Right. Well, yeah. Every club has got the guy that shoots 68 every day.
Regularly.
68 every day.
Yeah.
Goes across town to play in a USAM qualifier or a US Open qualifier. Suddenly now, oh, wait, scorecard, pencil. Somebody's keeping my score. Somebody's calling my name on the first tee. It's a whole different ballgame.
Whole different ballgame.
Tournament golf is a completely different thing, especially when you're traveling.
Exactly. It's hard. In 2020, Coach won the Jan Strickland Outstanding Coach Award. That is nationwide, and that recognizes the very top assistant coach. And, of course, you were in Texas at the time, University of Texas. What did that mean to you?
Being named the most outstanding assistant coach in the country. It really, it probably meant more to me than anything else in college coaching at the time. Because as an assistant coach, you do so much work. You really, really carry the load as far as recruiting and developing players and taking care of a team and all the things that go into a successful program. And then to get a little credit, feels really, really nice. Obviously, but I've been a part of a few national championships. 2 national championships at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a part of 3 runner-up finishes at Texas. But yeah, to be recognized by your peers for
that's where it's at.
For your work, it feels great.
That's where it's at, no doubt about it. The Mountain West, for viewers that may not be that familiar, consists of Colorado State, Air Force, Boise State, Fresno State, New Mexico, San Diego State, San Jose State, a lot of states here, UNR, Utah, and Wyoming, and of course UNLV. What do you envision against these people for your next season, and what do you have to improve in your players, other than the obvious, to make it a better season upcoming than what you guys did last year?
Last year we came in. I didn't really know exactly what we had as a team. I didn't really know how good these guys were. I didn't really know them as people and as players. And as the year went on, we did start to see some really nice improvement. We want to win our conference championship. The Mountain West Conference Championship is a big deal to us. But we really truthfully care about trying to develop back into a national.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A nationally recognized team that can contend for national championships. So if we're able to start to do that, then winning our conference championship will be maybe a little bit more, a little easier. But we've got eight conference championships in our history. So it's something we've won many times. It's something that is important to us. But I'm really trying to help build us back into a national golf program.
Absolutely.
Recruiting nationally, competing nationally. I want a kid, no matter where he is, if he's in Nebraska or Florida or North Carolina or Texas, to wake up one day and think, you know what, I think I'd like to play college golf. Where would I like to play? Maybe sitting down for dinner with their parents.
Right.
Okay, son, what are some places you might want to play college golf? Well, you'd like UNLV to be in that mix, in that conversation. So that's
of course, all the parents are going to say, well, look, Coach, I want my kid to play in a top-notch program.
Right.
Okay? So tell me what UNLV is going to offer him.
That's right.
What are you guys doing?
That's right. It's got to be everything.
Yeah.
It's got to be a great schedule. It's got to be facilities. It's got to be coaches that are going to help those kids develop, and that it's going to be proven in developing players. So, and we have the foundation in place to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Of the golf courses that you have seen, and of course your home course, but other courses, are you have any favorites that you
around town?
Around town?
Oh my! I like Las Vegas Country Club. It's kind of a nice place, good feel to it.
I do too.
Love the history that it
has. I think I mentioned Mark Raythard, who's a friend of mine, who's an architect that redid the course a couple of years ago, made it a really good golf course.
Oh, it's good. It's tree lined.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah.
You're held accountable.
You have to worry about the
tee.
cactus. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I've had a chance to play all the really great courses here, and they're all a little different.
They're all
something
different.
That you might see out at Paiute, very different from say Southern Highlands or
correct.
It's TPC Summerlin. It's very different golf courses.
Totally.
So I enjoy the variety that we have, and I try to create a rotation of different courses for our team.
That's good.
As well.
You need rotation.
Yeah, of course.
You need rotation. That's good. So who do you know that gets you out at these great places?
Well,
next thing I know, you'll be telling me you're playing the Creek next week.
Well, Coach Knight did
open the doors.
He did. He built it. He had relationships with Steve Wynn and Monty Montgomery.
Yeah, great guy.
Played for Coach Knight, and he's very loyal to UNLV.
And his kid is doing great on tour.
Taylor's doing great.
Absolutely
and
great.
Taylor's around, and when we see him, he knows our players. They've played golf with him. They've played golf with Kurt Kitayama and Harry Hall and some of the other guys that are around town as well. So, but we know there's a lot of golf courses in the area here. So, and golf course access has gotten to be a lot tougher since COVID.
Yeah.
And that's not just here. That's all
everywhere.
around the country.
Yeah, that's true.
Golf has boomed. Golf course, new golf course construction. We haven't really seen a lot of it.
No.
In the past 20 years, honestly.
Because courses are closing left and right,
Yeah.
and they're homes being built or, financial woes or whatever.
Right.
But all right, we're going to step away again, take another short break. We come back, we will finish up the show with Coach. So don't go anywhere. Be right back. One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscle back irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? Feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. We're just wrapping up the show with our special guest, Jean-Paul Hebert, the head men's golf coach at UNLV. How much interplay do you have with the women's side, if at all, and their coach, who I've known for a long time?
Well, we know we're very familiar with the women's program. We're both kind of fighting for the same school, and we have different facilities, different golf courses that we typically play, different schedules, totally separate programs.
Yeah.
But we are supportive of one another when we're able to be
sure.
there. So sometimes we bounce ideas off of each other, but they're doing pretty well. They've got a nice team.
They got a very nice team.
Coach Amy Bush is a hard worker. She's
been here a long time already.
She's very well respected in college golf, but also here in Las Vegas.
She's been here for a long time. And as you mentioned, everything revolves around money. That's just the way it is, folks. You're going to do anything to have more fundraising events for your team?
Well, we're going to take kind of what we historically have done and then just try to build upon it.
Mm-hmm.
We still have our Rebel Golf Day. It's kind of our fundraising tournament that we put on every fall. It's going to be November 13th, Monday, at Las Vegas Country Club. And we have a fundraising calendar that we put on throughout the year. We have, it's a membership that anybody can purchase, and we get people out. We get newsletters and some team swag, and we've got a calendar of events throughout the year that these donors are able to be a part of and see the team up close and personal. So it's kind of fun. It's fun for people to do this, and it takes people. It takes a lot of people for us to do what we want to do. But golf is a game of people. Of people. So it's a game of
How long do you sense it takes somebody you've recruited from Ohio to get used to the lifestyle out here?
It's an adjustment, but when we're recruiting somebody, we understand, like, help them understand, like, this is your world here. Here's where you're going to go to school. Here's where we're going to work out. Here's where you're going to live. These are our golf courses, and they can map out their own little world. Right. So a place like Vegas can be overwhelming if you let it, but their world can be very small.
Sure.
Or some kids, you know what, they want a bigger world, and they can make their world what they want here.
That's exactly right. Those are the ones that go, hey, I hear you got strip clubs here. Who's taking me? That type of thing. They're adventurous, okay? Let's put it that way. But anyway, Coach, I really thank you for coming on. And I know you're going to do just a hell of a job and looking for big things next season.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You will get back on the national level, I could tell.
Right.
And you and I are going to have to, when you have time, you're so busy, get out and tee it up.
Go play.
Yeah, just give me a few shots aside, and we'll see what happens.
We can give you two on the front, and then we'll
two and adjust.
Two and an adjust.
Ooh, boy, you're tough. You are tough.
Oh, no, I enjoyed it.
Well, you're probably shooting some good scores still.
On certain days, just it depends on how I wake up. Some days it's an easy game, and other days it's
I know.
What am I doing out here?
I know. Tell me about it. But anyway,
it's okay.
Best of luck to you, and we'll have you on again sooner than later.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. All right, that's going to do it for the 19th hole weekend, the old show. Our show this week, the 19th hole podcast for golfers. For Coach, I'm Dennis Silvers. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Get out and play some golf, everybody. So long. The Revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers, and I'm here to tell you about some great wedges and putters from Grindworks USA. First, the Grindworks Barrett Collection Wedge Set. These wedges are unparalleled in today's market. The wedges come to you in 3 different lofts, 51, 57, and 61 degrees, all designed to be able to spin around the greens with the ability to hit high, middle, or low shots around the greens. Grindworks also makes a line of their Windsor Wells Precision Machine putters. This beautiful design of putter was not only created to be appealing to the eye, but to perform better on the greens. You will gain a ton of confidence to help lower your scores. Go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046. I promise your scores will love you for it.